Hey, we're in the show. The show's running. How y'all doing? Al, Fred, good to see you guys.
Brad, thanks for
What's up, guys?
being the host today.
Oh, I gotta mute the other screen. I was watching the video at the same time, delayed by about 10 seconds. Anyway, behind the scenes stuff here. Hey, want to welcome anybody and everybody that's in the chat. I'm not sure who's in there currently. Say hi if you're in
Says
there.
one.
Oh, there's you, Fred. There's me. There's Al.
I guess we're in the
Um,
chat.
it's been probably a month. It's been a little while since we all three been together on a live stream on YouTube. I really kind of missed that, and I'm glad we got something pulled together. We're going to try to keep this way under an hour tonight. We'll finish up by 8 o'clock, and TNL with Ken Herring will be at 8 o'clock. So we don't want to step on any toes, and we'll let folks get on over there once they get in. Tonight, we're going to talk about some RC long 30-kilometer range planes. We're going to talk about the FCC ham radio license that is required to do some of that. And the Xeno Mini Pro 1 week later, see what our thoughts are on that. And then the Fimi Mini 3 months later, what's been happening with that and how that's been going. And also, there's been a lot of talk about the DJI Fly App hanging on a certain version of 1.4.8, and I'm not 100% sure what the 4 digits are that are beyond that, but it's a lot of people are having problems with that app hanging, freezing, people having to reset it in mid-flight, lost telemetry. So we're going to talk about some of that as well.
Yeah, I mean, I know Fred has experienced some of that
Yep.
telemetry losses. I have too.
I actually almost lost my Mini too. There.
Oh,
Couldn't get
Lord.
it
Wow.
back. It just completely went out. I couldn't get it back even with a reset. I mean, it eventually came back, and I was quite a ways out. I won't lie. I mean, it took about
Did it
15
return
minutes to get back. Yeah, it
did
was
it
a
return
long
to home
15
on
minutes.
its own?
It did, yeah. And actually, when it got like within visual sight, I actually got signal back.
Wow. It,
Just as it was like coming, you know what I mean, coming down, it came back on.
yeah,
Cool.
and like the Latins say, you're puckering, right? Big
Oh,
time.
it was. Yeah, it was a long 15 minutes.
Oh, man, you're definitely tight as could be.
And then I thought I could hear it, but there was boats around, so it was hard to hear. So I'm like, is that it? I'm like, it is. I can hear it.
Wow. Yeah.
Well, yeah, let's see if we can. I don't know if we want to kick it off in the order of what the graphic
Sure.
that you put together, Al.
Sure.
So, I mean, we could start off. I would guess, Fred, you're going to have a lot to say about this, the RC long 30
Oh,
kilometer range planes and what you got going on over there behind you.
just construction, really. I'm kind of new at building them. Flying them, I can fly, but building them has been a process, catching up to everybody. I got out of it, 10, 12 years ago and was into nitro stuff. So switching over to the electric was an experience. You know, I'm in a different group with the planes. There's a couple of guys in there that have been helping me. So actually,
So,
this one's pretty much ready to fly. Just a couple more things I'm waiting on, a couple little parts, but other than that,
You
it's
say
ready to
you
go.
say ready to fly, but you had to put a lot of it together, right?
Oh yeah, it comes completely apart. You have to put
Okay.
everything together. Yeah. I mean, some of them you can get with the ESCs and the motors put in and the servos, but you still have to put like your flight system in, your autopilot, and all that stuff, your receiver. If you choose to. I mean, some guys don't use that stuff. They just fly, pattern fly or whatever. So they're just flying with a regular receiver. But I want, return to home and all that stuff like we have on the drones, basically. Just like a drone, but a plane. You get out far, you run low on battery, it'll come back. If you have everything set up right. Now, you don't have DJI programming the shit for you, so you have to do it yourself. So, mistakes can be made pretty easy. So you want to
Did you
test
did you
and
say it would
retest.
it'll return to home?
Oh yeah, it'll return to home, stability
Oh,
flight. It'll come back and loiter. It actually has auto landing too. It'll come back and land.
good.
And
I
it'll
didn't know they could
actually
do
hit the runway. I mean, you can put lidar and other stuff on it, and it'll see the runway
wow.
and measure its
Nice.
way down. I think it rides like a beam down, so it knows
Like a
how. Yeah,
kind of like a sonar
almost
beam.
like a bomb, I guess. Like a laser guided bomb. Just
So,
rides a laser.
Yeah, so with that said, I mean, what kind of radio are you going to be using, and then what kind of receiver do you have in the plane, and also the flight controller in the plane? I mean, can
I'm
you
right
expand on
now.
those?
Right now, I'm using all my flag dream stuff, but my other plane I'm putting in the Maytech wing, which is 405 wing. It's called. It's just a different version that runs iNav. This runs MavLink, and, like Betafly. It's kind of like Betafly, but it's MavLink. So you can do your
So,
waypoints and missions, and do like your fine tuning and your motors, and this and that, just like you
so
would
for
with Betafly.
yeah, so for the newbies, so let's talk about how you can do your waypoints. How would you do that? I mean, we're familiar with the waypoints that we use in our drones, but we have a phone that we interface with
Actually,
to.
I use an app through my phone to do that for this autopilot. It's just got an app kind of like you have with your drone, but there's no controls. It's just like a map with options, and you can put waypoints on it or monitor your telemetry. Say you lost your camera or something, you could pick up your phone and monitor your telemetry in theory. If you're hooked up right through your ground station,
Oh, that's
everything
cool.
everything goes through the ground station. So like your video and everything feeds through this, then it shoots out, then through this, then into your goggles or your monitor. So this is like amplifying it and doing all the work for you. So that allows you to get out, 25, 30 kilometers
Wow.
with your video signal. Now your remotes, most remotes are capable of that anyways.
So that's
It's
just a relay
amplified.
station for the video signal only,
Basically for
or
the video, yes. Yep.
okay, so
Video,
it
telemetry, like your OSD on your screen, all the important stuff that it takes to fly long distance is on that ground station.
What
but
what kind of
Other than your controls. Your controls are usually like TBS Crossfire or one of those other long range systems like you would use on your drones. Pretty
I
much
right.
know
the same
I
thing.
know we're going to talk about this as the next subject, but maybe you can just briefly talk about the amount of wattage that unit puts out or that station puts out, and that's probably why it requires a ham radio license. I'm
Oh,
guessing.
definitely. Yeah, yeah.
So what
You're
kind of
supposed to have
wattage?
ham. I'm
What
not
kind
really
of
sure. I know that antenna is 20 dB. The one on the top is 13 or 14 dB. I'm not sure what the unit puts out, or if it's just relaying what your remote's putting out or your plane's putting out itself. So I'd
Right.
almost have to get back to you on that because I'm pretty new at this myself. Like I just got into it maybe like a month ago, and I'm still kind of yet to fly with this stuff. I mean, I've been flying my planes with just kind of like line of sight and with like a Zod co-pilot and stuff like that. Just getting back into flying. You know,
Hey, I
it's
want
been a few
to just
years. So
say hi to Michael Blade in the chat. Anybody else that's in the chat, let us know you're there, and we appreciate you stopping by.
Hey, Michael, thanks for joining. So on my screen, I have FCC requirements and rules, bands, and antenna, and let me share that with you guys, and then
I know
we'll.
like certain frequencies are banned too. Not to interrupt you, but like the 3.3 gigabyte FPV is banned in the U.S. now. I mean, that's the cell phone companies are
Oh,
using it.
that's a self. Okay, gotcha. So
So
that
now,
makes sense now.
yeah, some people have the equipment, but it's getting really hard to find that 3.3 gig.
Yeah, so it looks like I was watching video that Joshua Bardwell JB put out the other day, and he actually sent a pair of goggles to this gentleman that did the flight testing, and he put the round flat antenna you have there, which is a
Yep.
nine, I don't know, 15 25 dB. I don't know how
This one
many.
here.
The round one,
Oh, this
yeah,
one here. Yeah, I
yeah,
think that's 14 dBi. I think.
14 dBi.
Yeah, it's a
He had
circular polarized pagoda. Kind of is what it is.
so Joshua Bardwell sent him the goggles, and then he put the iFlight analog interface on it, and then he hung those antennas on their last. And he quotes like, "Well, at the risk of spinal injury, let me try these things on because it's so heavy that it pulls his goggles down." He had two of those.
They make one that's one size smaller than that, and I think that's what the ones he was using. They're 9 dBi. They're probably about this big instead of this big.
Yeah, they were huge, but yeah, I'll share my screen with you guys. It's going to be my second screen. So here are some of the regulations that we see. that the FCC is putting out with the. All right, so we use 2.4 gigahertz for the flight controls, and we use 5.8 for our video transmission. And that's what the FCC ham operator license is going to require us to run. But you can see that this 9 dB gain antennas. Oh my God, these numbers don't make that much sense to me, but I kind of do follow the watts here. So whenever you increase your dB, you're not increasing your watts, but that's all depending on the transmitter of the VTX shooting the signal back to us.
They kind of work together, don't they, Al?
Yeah, they do, because the antenna is going to amplify that signal as weak as it is, but the VTX is going to be the one pumping it out as hard as it can, right? So, so the cutoffs you can see here. I don't know if I'm highlighting it correctly. The 250 milliwatts, Fred. I think that's the cutoff. Anything over 250 milliwatts on the VTX requires a ham radio operating license,
I think like Crossfire is 900 megahertz or something like that, or 900 megahertz. That's what that's running, and I think that's UHF is what that uses.
That uses UHF. Okay,
I believe it does. Yes.
And then the other article here that I was reading was why we need a ham license for flying FPV drones, because we're pushing.
Yeah, you get to a certain wattage and a certain level frequency,
Right.
you have to have a ham radio license.
That is correct. And from the little that I've understand about it, is 250 milliwatts. Like Ed Richter, I don't know if you guys know Ed. He has a really successful channel. He got his ham radio license in North Carolina where he lives. I think he lives in Raleigh. And he was talking about why he got his license, because he wanted to fly legally his FPV drones with the higher wattage VTXs. And so that's one of the things that, we don't really take into account that we need to have is those licenses too. Not only do we have to have the Part 107, but we also have to have the ham radio operating license for. So there's 2 different or 3 different licenses you can get. Fred, do you remember? I know you had one at one time way back.
I don't remember really, honestly. But I mean, some of this stuff is so outdated, it doesn't make sense. Like before, I could see where you need it whenever some people use like antennas to watch your TV, but nobody uses antennas no more, so you're not going to mess up that.
Yeah,
so really, what are you screwing up? You know what I mean?
I know what the 3 of them are. There's and I studied for these years ago. First one's technician, and the second one's a general, and then you got an amateur extra. It just depends on what frequencies and what level of ham radio that you need. And most people just get the general, I think it is.
I got mine coming out of the military, so I don't remember what they gave me, whatever it coincided with in civilian life. Now I think you got to take the test over again. Same with like your class Class A driver's license in the military.
Yeah.
If you get it there, you still have to come take it again, and where you didn't used to have to. So they're always changing crap around that.
Yeah.
But the way I see it, you know why you need to have a license? Because we're having too much fun, and the government must tax us for that.
True.
You're not allowed to have that much fun without taxing.
Right. That's true.
So anybody out in the video, drop us a comment. Let us know if you have your license or you're planning to take the class to take a license. My understanding, like Brad will say, is technician, general, and then that third one I don't know anything about.
Amateur extra. Yeah.
Amateur extra, and
That's,
there's something
that's the top end one.
And my neighbor down the street here invited me to take the class with them just practice sessions every Wednesday, provided by an instructor, and then you got to take a 35 question test you have to pass. And then if you pass it, then they'll offer you to take. You can take right there on the spot the general ham radio license test, and if you pass that, they'll keep throwing tests at you if you want to keep taking them.
Yeah.
And it's pretty inexpensive. I think it's like $30 now. It used to be 14, and it's now up to $30.
It used to be really cheap.
I heard
Yeah.
they were going to start doing some of these tests live via like Zoom and some of these other sites.
Yeah,
Where you
yeah,
have to check in like over your, credibly over your computer somehow, where they can, where you,
Yeah.
they can make sure that you're you.
Well, COVID has changed all that, for the virtual thing, so
mean,
you
if
don't
they-
have to go in.
Yeah, if they did that, I bet you a lot more people would actually get it too.
True. I studied, like I was saying earlier, I studied for it when I was younger, but I don't even remember I can't remember a single thing about it. I just remember there was a lot of frequencies, a lot of, that was the main thing I remember. There was a lot of different frequency ranges and things you just had to know. I was going to get into it. I was into CB radios for a while when my dad was a truck driver when I was young. And when I became an older teenager or adult, I had a CB radio in my vehicles, and I got over that real quick. Those went away pretty fast. But, I had some high wattage amplifiers for the CB radios. I was actually talking skip to people and around the country, people down in Florida. And I had friends that had such high wattage, they were talking to people around the world on CB radios. That's a whole different class than ham radio, but, it's along the same lines. But, yeah. I kind of miss those days.
That's
I really like that
I wonder if you have to
technology.
recertify for that. I'm sure you do. It would have to.
Yeah,
I'm
you
sure it
probably
goes
do every
back.
so many years. Yeah.
I'm
I
sure
would
mine's
think.
bad now. God, it was back in like 90 something when I had mine. So,
Right.
20, 30 years ago.
Well, you
Yeah,
know,
so-
ham
So I wanted
radio-
to welcome a couple of people here. We got
Yeah,
Steve
yeah.
from Drone Seekers International. Hey, Steve, thanks for joining over the pond. I know he's a little late over there, and it's a subject matter that's probably close and dear to your heart now that you got your DJI FPV drone that you're flying around and having a blast with. So here in the United States, we have to get our ham radio license now for operating those type of vehicles, or aircraft. So yeah,
Fixed wing aircraft, yeah.
yeah.
Well,
So
when you're using setting up stations like Fred's got there, I don't think you don't normally have to have a ham radio license, do you? Just to fly a hobby with a fixed wing? Is that correct, or am I saying that
No,
wrong?
I don't think so. Not without using the equipment, just like regular
Right.
flying. You're technically supposed to like go to a club, like you are with drones, like an AMA club or whatever it is. But I mean, there's nothing really around my area for that, even if I wanted to. I mean, there's probably one 15 minutes an hour drive, but I'm not driving an hour to go fly around in a field around in a circle.
Right.
It's just not my type of flying.
That's not for me either. That's boring after a while.
You know
Real
who
quick.
does that is the really, really old gentleman, out there that had been flying these things since the dawn of time. And that's all that there was back then. So that's all they
Hey,
know.
Fred.
How they,
Hey, watch it. That's not much older than Alan.
well, I'm close to 50 here, but
yeah,
you know what I mean. Some of these guys
I
are
know.
in their 70s and 80s, like really old men that build like the scale planes and stuff like that, right to the exact nut and bolt.
Yeah.
That's kind of like the hobby is in its own, really, is building them for them. Flying,
Well,
they don't like to fly them hardly at all. Most of the time they bring them out and they're sitting on the ground to look at, and
Yeah,
they might take one
that's
flight
true.
a day with it.
That's true. They all like looking at each other's models and then fly it and ooh and ah, and then they land it and somebody else flies. Yeah.
Yep, pretty much.
So I posted a question to the audience. What FPV equipment are you using? And hopefully they'll be answering here. We got Ray Kelly there, and it looks like Steve replied from Drone Seekers International. He's saying that he's still loving the heck
switching-
out of his
Switching over to
FPV stuff.
1.3 myself. So.
Yeah. So Steve, you're gonna have to start building your own FPV drones now. I know Fred behind you. You got that You got a couple monster, nice little planes there. So
Hey,
with that
so
said,
Fred, well, I was going
go
to say,
ahead. Go ahead.
before we move on, because we've got a few folks that just coming in. Hey, Fred, why don't you show that plane off real
Yeah,
quick,
yeah.
like,
Do that before I show mine
before
off.
we move on to
yeah.
the next subject. Fred's been working on a fixed wing kit, I guess. That was that a
It's a
kit?
Sonic. Yeah, it's a Sonic binary. It's been out probably for maybe a year or two. Not like a new plane or anything.
It's nice.
So yeah, just
I've got the Atomic Adam RC whale behind it back there in the chair. That one's actually bigger than this one.
yeah. So you tell them about the compartment in front, how it houses your cameras and then your transmitter and then your receivers and your VTXs and your
Yeah.
EFCs, all the good stuff that
Yeah,
you.
batteries. Then all your flight gear goes in this one, which is just can't really see in there. It's a mess, but everything.
But that's where your flight controller goes, and
yeah, battery
Right.
stuff goes up here, and whatever else you can fit in there, I guess.
and then he has his camera hanging out right now.
Everybody else kind of has their own like places they put things. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
There's no real like, I guess, designated spot for anything in these. You just kind of like stick it where you can.
No, I know you're setting up that station and everything to fly long range, but what is going to be your preferred method in close range as far as flying? Is it going to be line of sight, or are you going to wear the goggles, or how
Yeah,
you
probably
going?
probably FPV. I fly a
Okay.
lot of line of sight too. That's what I've been doing. But that's actually for both too, because that will give you penetration through the trees, through walls. You know, you
Yeah,
can fly like a 15-story, you know, parking garage with your drone. You know, up through every floor with that thing.
yeah, right.
yeah. It looks like
And
Bill's
you
in
can
the
just sit
house
in your
too.
chair like this and just have your goggles on, and that's moving all around, following your drone or your plane for you, so you can sit there in comfort too. Is what I like. I don't have
Right.
to worry about turning or, you know, moving this way, or because the tracker's always on it.
Sure. Yeah. What happens if that thing goes down? You got the tracker on it. I mean, how easy is it going to be able to locate it? Will you be able to get true or pretty close, accurate GPS coordinates, or
Yeah,
how is that going to work?
it's got the same GPS as our drones.
Okay. Okay.
Right.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Usually have 20, 30 satellites, you know. So
Okay.
then if
Cool.
you lose your FPV, you can just flip a switch like you would in your drone, and it'll just turn around and come home. And it'll actually just sit there and loiter over a home point. It'll
Wow.
just fly in a circle until you take control of it.
That is, I love that kind of tech. That's pretty cool.
I mean, you can set it to auto land, but you got to have like your LiDAR and other stuff installed that I don't have yet.
Gotcha. So Fred has influenced me and talked me into getting a airplane. And check out this aircraft right here. I have
Yeah.
not opened it yet.
It's gonna be Duranified before you even fly.
Yeah, yeah, it will. But it still has a seal, so let's pop it open, do a quick unboxing, and then we'll move on to the next subject matter.
I
Okay.
got one of those too. I love mine.
Yeah, and Fred's like, Al,
Mine's great.
you
Oh,
gotta,
that's slick looking. That's slick.
Oh shit, you haven't even opened that, have you?
no, I'm just not opening it. I'm doing it here. Okay,
doing an
everything's
unboxing live.
falling out of it. Whoa.
I mean, that should be all put together too. That should have all the ESCs in it. They just kind of stick in, and there's a little thing on the bottom, and you just turn it so you can take it out for portability, I guess.
So it's got a flyer of the product lines from Zod, and I also bought the Zod co-pilot. Fred recommended that. So this is the Dart XL, so it's a little bit over a meter long, and it comes in pieces as you can see, but you put them together, and they're all sealed, Fred, so I got to cut them open. But let's do a quick cut open. And this
These
is
Dods too, they require no glue. That's what's good about them. There's no glue
Wow.
involved in these.
so here's
What kind of
here-
attachments does it
They-
take to?
They kind of like snap in and like twist on and bolt on and press
Okay.
magnet. A lot of magnets.
So it can
Okay.
break down. It can break down just as easy as you put it together.
Pretty much, it'll break right down to that.
So that's the fuselage it looks like. Am I correct, Fred?
Yep.
That's fuselage, right? All right, I'll put that down. Comes with two massive 7-inch prop. One massive 7-inch prop. It's a push prop. I'm not sure what this is. It's probably
Hey.
mine.
Don't y'all make me get into another part of this hobby.
Yeah.
It's
Okay,
actually
so
pretty cheap to get into. I think that one's like $200.
Oh wow.
so Fred, what am I looking at here?
That's your tail.
That's my tail. Okay. And I got two tails on it, so
And they just see that little tab. You just put them in, and there's a little thing on the bottom. You turn it, and it locks it into place.
it locks it in place. Okay.
So you can take them on and off, you know, to put it in your car or whatever, or a backpack. I put mine in the backpack. It fits nice.
And what am I looking at here?
Those are your vortex generators for your wings, so you can fly real slow
Okay.
without
And
falling.
I have another. Hey, Senator Perry's in. Okay, so this is my fuselage
Canopy.
canopy.
Canopy, yeah. So is that where the battery goes under that, Fred?
Yeah, you can put a big battery in that one too.
Yeah, so it's got an XT60 on it on it for the. Back it up so you can see it better right there. Because it's
This battery is
focusing.
actually for that
Yeah,
plane. That's what I
Thank-
use in that.
and thank goodness I have a bunch of those.
And you can use that 7,000 milliamp battery in there too. But you got
So I bought a 7,000 milliamp battery, Brad. It'll
having-
power your scooter, man.
I'm actually having a 24,000 milliamp Lion battery built for long range planes.
Wow,
There.
that's custom made for you.
Yeah,
God.
it should be give me 90 minutes, maybe to 2 hours flight time.
And $200 later, probably.
Oh my
400.
God. That.
$400 for a battery.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
With
Dang.
shipping.
What am I looking at here?
Those are camera inserts for your nose.
Camera insert for my nose.
I
Okay.
think it carries what is it? Run cam, I believe.
You do a run cam?
Run
Okay,
cam.
so this
or
is gonna,
GoPros fit in there too.
these are going to be my wings, correct?
That they are.
And we'll have to open these up because we're doing it. We're going all the way. We're all in.
The only thing you got to put on this is your and you don't even have to. They gave you upgraded servo arms for levers.
Okay, so the servos are installed.
Yeah, you just
Nice.
put your receiver in there and go fly on this one.
Yeah, and
It's
look,
really-
look
really
at this,
plug and
guys.
play.
Oh, come on, camera. Focus.
Yeah.
There it is.
Looks.
Look at the connectors.
That
So
actually gives you power out there too. You got a spare power plug in there for
Wow.
power out in your wing, so you can run light or put
Oh,
your,
you can hook up other devices.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can put a lot of people put their VTX on one wing and their receiver on the other wing.
So the orientation on these are obviously pretty easy to look at because there's only one way to plug these in.
That spar
Man,
goes
look.
through the center too. When you-
Okay.
So you can't plug them in wrong. Apparently, is what you're
No, no,
Okay.
it's for the idiot group.
saying. Nice. I need that. That's what I need.
Okay. So it's gonna be a fun flight, guys. I already have my transmitter that I use for my FPV flying. So I'm gonna be using the Duran X9D. Pretty good transmitter, guys. It's not cheap, about $300. I think they're down to 250 now when I bought it. You can buy them secondhand now, left and right, because people are moving to the digital system, right? Obviously, right?
Yeah, everybody wants the digital.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm trying. I'm gonna avoid it until next year.
Good luck with that. That's
Okay,
that,
so you
everybody's
said your
going
rod goes through where? Like
So
this?
you got. Yep. You put it. I put mine on before I put my wings on, but or you
Okay.
can put it into one wing and slide it through.
Huh.
Yeah, when you go flying, you definitely want that in there.
That
So
gives it, I guess that gives rigidity
Yeah, it
to the
does,
wings.
yeah. And that'll sit right on your CG too. Your CG is usually right around where that bar is. There's marks underneath that say CG on it that you just put your fingers on and make sure that it's not too
and there
down.
it is.
down
There-
to key.
There it is, guys, right there. Now, it doesn't come with the motor, or does it come with the motor?
Now the motors should be in there. Is it in there? You just got to put your prop on. I thought.
Oh, you did say that's a pusher. Okay.
Unless you ordered the kit. Did you order
Hey,
the
while
kit
you're
or
looking
the
for that,
PNG?
while y'all are looking for that, I want to welcome in everybody in the chat that's still here with us. Also, want to say a big, huge happy birthday to Johnny, drone flyer. Johnny,
Hey,
I found that
Johnny.
Pull
birthday
that off on the
today.
back too, Al.
Huh?
Back comes off first on that, then there's a little tab on the front. So just pull the back up. It's on there with a magnet.
So pull it like this.
The back up. Yep. There
Hey,
you go. Pull it right
Hey,
up.
taking that thing apart, Al, that's pretty good. That way Julie won't see it, your wife.
It's on there with a magnet. You won't break it.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
And there's my motor.
There it is. Yep. See, mine came installed. I don't know, maybe.
All right, doing the drop test on it.
Hey, just
Well,
keep,
shit, the
hey,
first
Al,
time
just
I
a
blew mine, I
reminder.
blew it and it didn't go nowhere. It separated straight into the ground. So they're pretty
Hey,
durable.
just a reminder, we got 19 minutes left, guys,
Oh.
and whenever you feel like moving to the next subject, we can. But this is pretty interesting as well.
So let's take a look at the inside if you're interested in seeing what it looks like on the inside.
Wow, that's a big compartment in there.
And then the motor's going to mount in here like so. I think, or is it going to be on the back? Yeah, it's going to be like so. Probably. It's hard to say. But anyway, there it is, guys. And I'm going to be putting I decided that I'm actually going to be running this on it, the Nebula Pro on there, which is the Catic Vista.
Oh, nice.
You should have had an ESC in there too, Al.
Yeah, okay. I got to look for it.
It should have been right where that zip tie is on the back there. It should have been under that.
Well,
It should have been already been installed on it.
okay, all right. I'll look for it. But that's my unboxing, guys. And thanks, Fred, for talking me into getting this thing. I think it's
Cool.
going
I
to be.
can't wait to start. I should have stopped by
Maybe
today, Al.
next year you'll get to fly it, Al. By the time you get there.
Right. Hey, so hey, Ted, let's move on to our next subject, Al, while you're getting things settled there. The Xeno Mini Pro 1 week later. Let's hear about that, Al.
Oh my gosh! I actually had a chance to fly it yesterday, and it was really pretty decent flight. Now, the day before, I had to update the. Oh gosh, I had to update all the firmware, and guess what? You got to plug your phone directly to the back of this.
Your phone?
Your phone
Oh,
gets
wow.
plugged in directly in the back to do the first initial update. Pretty crazy, but it walks you through the whole update pretty easily, but it's interesting. So here's what the controller looks like. Come on, camera. Yeah, there it is.
Okay.
It's a nice controller. It's got the telemetry on this window. It's a good flyer. And the video looks pretty doggone good. I mean, I was surprised how good the video looks. And since I waited since May to get this, guess what they gave me for free? An
Another drone?
No, they gave me a charging hub for free.
Nice.
Okay. Camera, fix. Can't. So they gave me a charge up to 4 batteries. And they gave
kind of a cool looking charging hub there.
It is, and they gave me a really functional bag. Now, the interesting thing about this is you got to open it up, drop your controller in first, like so, and then you close it up, and then you put your drone in here, make sure my props don't get smashed up, and then you're ready to go out flying. It's,
So you drop the drone and the controller into the same area, and then the hub to the left.
Yeah, and it doesn't have. So the good points are the flight time is real good. The bad points are that to be able to get all the video out of here, you don't pull an SD card. You have to have a battery and a cable hooked up for it to transfer the videos to your computer. So, but with that said, I'm going to pull up a video here. We'll play it for you folks to see.
Now,
It's not
maybe maybe I missed what you just said, Al. You can't pull the memory card out to transfer the images and the video?
There is no memory card at all. You either
Oh.
buy the 64 or the
Oh.
128 built in.
Okay.
They're doing Apple thing, right? They're
Gotcha.
not doing the Android thing. You're locked into that. Unfortunately, you're locked into having that fixed amount of memory. So I flew 2 batteries yesterday, and I got some of this video out of it. It's actually pretty decent video. I was shocked how nice this video looks. So I'm gonna pull it up. I didn't have it keyed up, but it's pretty easy to get to, and I'll go ahead and play it.
Yep.
All right. So, so like I was saying, the pros are that it flies real well. The cons are transferring your video out of it is not that easy.
Right. Makes sense though with the memory built in. I understand that.
Yeah, and it has autonomous flights that I did not test much of them, but I will be testing it soon. We'll get to that.
If you're wanting to share a screen, Al, we're not seeing it.
No, I'm actually queuing it up for you.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, I'll queue it up and get ready here. Okay, so yeah, this is good. I'll queue this up. All right, so I'll go ahead and remove this one. No,
Fred said he'll be right back.
Fred will be right back. Okay,
Yeah.
that's good.
While you're queuing that up, thank you everybody that's in the chat. Thanks for stopping by. See, got a couple more folks in. Tomas is in. Who else we got in new? Of course, we got Maddie in. We've got Captain Ray's in the house. We got Drone Seekers International. We got TJ Grady in. Thanks for everybody. Senator Perry. I don't know if I've ever seen your name before. I apologize if I've missed you. But thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, you're familiar with this site, Brad, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
And
that's our lovely
the video quality.
Virginia, the James
Look,
River.
look at the mid range on for this little camera. It's unbelievably
That's pretty
good.
Look at the clouds. I like the.
It picked up everything.
Nothing's blown out. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, really picked up everything. Look at the river, look at the railroad tracks, look at the clouds, look at the skyline.
So
of the
y'all
city.
that don't live around Richmond, Virginia, and have never been here, this is what we have in downtown Richmond. James River, just to the down below there, to the right of this screen, the river drops down into rocks, rapids area, and we have the only city in the United States at certain water levels that has Class 5 whitewater rapids. That's not always the case. It's usually when the water levels have risen from previous rains up in the mountains or something like that. But we are the only city in the United States that I think I know that I've heard of that has whitewater rapids. It's pretty cool, and I've been in them before years ago. It's pretty awesome. But that spot where Al's filming from right now, capturing, is a great place to go to get some great imagery and video work. And there's a lot of kayakers out there, boaters. It's pretty cool. Rock climbers.
Yeah, and you would think that this thing has a CPL filter because of the clarity through the water.
Yeah. It
But
doesn't
it
look like it's
doesn't. I
blowing
don't
out
have
like
any
that.
filters. This is full automatic, and
Yeah.
I shot in manual mode, and I didn't do as good as a job as it did in auto mode.
Is this
So
2.7 or 4K, Al?
This is shot in 4K. I shot
Okay.
everything in 4K, so I would be able to do the comparison between that. So I took 2 aircrafts that day, the Xeno 2 Plus and the Xeno Mini Pro, and I did basically the same kind of shoot on both of them. The problem I wanted to do, Brad, I wanted to do my signature move of strapping the Mini on top of the Xeno 2, but I can't. This is the other thing I don't like. about those. I don't like the video, how to get the video off, and I do not like the fact that the video will not start recording until you fly.
Oh, that's right.
So you can't do any of your camera adjustments until you're up in the air wasting batteries.
Yeah, that's kind of poor. They ought to change that.
And this is a rock wall that used to be a bridge and now is used to practice rock climbing. And
Yeah,
you can
that used
see-
to be. Is that where the railroad trestle used to go across? I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you can see that was the beginning with that observation deck is. And there's that bicycle that was riding when I started.
Mhm.
So this is the trestle right there on that round circle there, and then it would go all the way across. But look at this little camera, man. I mean,
Oh,
I am
good
so
job.
surprised about it. I really am.
I know.
Yeah.
I know the folks that are watching YouTube right now are probably getting a lot of jerky imagery. It's just Al's queued it up, but it's just not coming through as smooth when you're seeing a lot of transitions there. It's looking
Yeah.
better though. I'm seeing on the live stream now.
Oh, good, good. Yeah, it could be on your end too, or whatever.
Could be.
And yeah, and so check it out. It's not bad. I'm impressed. Really.
Hey,
am.
so let me call out. We have about less than 10 minutes, Al. I don't know if you want to.
Okay, we're going to stop this. Yeah, we're
If
going
you
to
want
move
to
on.
talk about the Fimi Mini 3 months later, we got, of course, we got 10 minutes. We might not make our last topic, the DJI Fly App Hanging, and with the 1.48 version that's out there, but we can try the Fimi Mini 3 months later and see what your thoughts are.
Yeah, let's go ahead and I'm going to stop this, remove this from the stream here, and let's see. If I remove Fred, he's going to have to ask to get back in, right?
You should be able to put him in the back room there for a moment, right?
Let me see.
I
Kick
think-
from Studio, edit name. I can remove him from the stream. Yeah,
You might have
there
to
we go.
rejoin. Okay.
All right, so we've had the Fimi Mini a little bit over 3 months, and 50% of the people that get the Fimi Mini, Brad, what have you heard?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Johnny,
Was that the horizon tilt or other issues? But the horizon thing has been a horrible
The Jello.
mix of problems. The Jello effect.
yeah. Fortunately for me, I got a really nice Fimi Mini, and I really enjoy it. So it's definitely going to be I'm going to be able to compare these two. And if you guys have never seen the video, what is the most powerful drone, where I actually built this device that measures how much thrust each one of the drones produces. I used the fish scale, attached it to this arm, and then I routed the cable all the way down and around this platform, and attached the cable to a D-ring that's attached to the bottom of the drone. So as the drone lifts up, it pulls on the pulley, and then the electronic fish weight, what would you call those called? The fish
Fish scale.
scale. Yeah, the fish scale measures the thrust in pounds,
Ah,
or you can do it in kilograms, obviously.
Right.
And the strongest one I've had so far has been the Mavic 2
Mm.
Pro. But now with the Phantom and with the FPV drones, we're going to be able to test that. So that's one of the things that I'm going to do is the strongest mini comparison using the fish scale apparatus. Fred, did you ever see that video where you strapped I used the fish scale to measure the thrust on the drones?
I did see that, yes.
And the
I haven't
Xeno,
seen
man,
that.
about cut my throat, man. It was like this, and I was like, whoa, whoa. And then I had to figure out how to catch this stupid thing. So I had to, like, time this crazy thing, and as it came by, I'm like, okay, I'm ready, catch it.
I can't remember if, like, a few months ago, I was seeing somebody was doing a video, and they were actually having a tug of war with drones.
Oh yeah,
Did you see that?
yeah. That's a good
They
way.
were pulling them around. I couldn't remember who it was, but it was hilarious.
I think that's a great. And you know, they put the flag in the middle, see which one.
They were pulling each other around.
Hey Brad, we're gonna have to do that. We're gonna have to take my
Uh,
drones and give it a try.
Yeah, I've
They
kind
were
of.
using FPV drones too,
Right.
so they actually could fly pretty good to keep them in the air. You know what I mean? Because they were all going all over the place.
Freaking all over the place. Oh man. Yeah, so we were talking about the Fimi Mini. Your experience 3 months later. You give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down, Fred?
It's all right. It's not a bad drone. You know, I.
Would you buy it again?
Right now, no. But
Would you
maybe-
buy the Mini 2 again?
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Okay. So that. How about you, Brad? Would you buy the Mini 2 again?
I would buy the Mini 2 and the Air 2S. Yes.
Okay. So that says a lot for a product, right? You buy it again.
Yeah.
If somebody like stole it from your car, or you crashed it and lost it, you buy another one, right?
In both cases, I'd be devastated. Yes, I'd have to buy another one.
Yeah. True.
Would you buy if somebody stole your Fimi Mini? Would you buy it again?
No, I'd probably buy another. I'd probably buy a DJI Mini 2, you know, to replace it. I mean,
So-
but in a couple months, maybe, you know, after they worked out the little bugs that, you know, it takes Fimi forever to work out. Maybe next year it'll be a good drone, you know.
Hey, I will say this.
It's not a
Here's
bad drone.
Here's one thing I'll say. If I didn't have the money to be able to afford the Air 2S and I had to have one drone, I mean, really one drone only, it would be the Mini 2. The fly, you know, the combo kit. So extra batteries, the case. The Mini 2 would be sufficient for me at what I do. I just fly for fun in just short range. I don't care about the distance. Granted, the ability to go further distances gives you a much better signal closer in. But I think the Mini 2 is a great all-around drone for beginners, intermediates, and even get some good, great quality videography captures, depending on lighting conditions. But the Air, you know, having a little bit more money, probably double the money, is getting the Air 2S Fly More combo kit. But those are the two drones. I mean, you know, like I said, if it was one drone only, it would be the Mini 2.
Yeah, so I'm going to add this to a stream. I did another test with the Zino Mini, and this was a penetration test. A little risky. I wanted to go in there as far as I could before I lost signal, and it did not lose the signal. I did not feel uncomfortable. If I made a mistake here, it would have been a costly mistake going under the bridge. It would have been a mess. I would either hit concrete or hit the trees and then hit this freaking hard railroad tracks. So in this area, they had some kind of accident that tore up the tracks, and that's why you see all that equipment in there.
Didn't hear about
rebuilding.
that.
Yeah. So the penetration was pretty good on the Xeno. So I'll stop sharing this here. But yeah, crazy. So we've come to 2 minutes before we sign off, Brad. So
Yeah, we got 2 minutes.
you got 1 minute for shameless promotion. What do you have, Brad?
I don't have shameless promotion, but I could quickly say a little something about the last subject, the DJI Fly App Hanging. We know there's some folks out there that have had issues with that. A lot of folks. There's certain revision of the 1.4.8, which I think was the first one that came out, and there's been another one come out, a beta version, I think it is, and I did get a hold of the beta version. I have installed it, but I have not flown yet. But I've heard good things about that version. I would assume it's going to be released soon. I'm not sure as far as the releasing time on that. But anyway, back to the shameless promotion. I don't have a whole lot on my YouTube channel, but it is Brad Alston, River City RVA right now. If you got a moment to stop by, I have older videos on there, mostly personal stuff. But that's about it. I appreciate everybody stopping by in the chat, and that's all I got.
Fred, you're up.
I don't have anything other than I'll have a new video out tomorrow.
Oh, cool. That's
Yeah, if y'all
awesome.
get a chance, go check out
Been a,
ADK
been a few
Drone.
weeks.
Good.
Yep.
I'd love to see it. And obviously, you're going to be flying that long distance plane, so stay tuned for that.
Definitely.
Yeah, and the only thing I have is I put out a video today. It was called "Are They Mating or Are They Playing?" And it's a dolphin video from Panama City, and it came out pretty good. I actually enjoyed it. I kind of reliving my vacation there. So check it out, guys.
Yep, we got Ken Herron's show starting up right now, so we'll probably see you over there. I'm gonna head over there and be in the
Yep.
chat. So thanks for stopping by. We'll see you again maybe next week.
Yeah, guys.
All right. Thanks for
Take
doing
care.
a good job, guys. Appreciate it. And you guys have a great day.
Have a good one.